EA Sports. Straight ahead, Jay Ajayi, fresh off 100 yards a week ago, as it'll be the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene in South Philly a few moments ago. Boy, the city of brotherly love is fired up. They're saying fly, Eagles, fly, as they get ready to match up with the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Colts, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes that actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. It'll be Jacoby Brissett under center, their third-year quarterback out of NC State.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that one interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver?
Let's go! White, 9, hot!
On 1st and 10, Brissett brought in over the middle by Grant. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. And we look now at the offense for Indianapolis.
T.Y. Hilton's the guy that I'm going to be keeping a big eye on, because when you put together 4 straight Pro Bowls, led the NFL in receiving yards 2016, you know the 2017 yards were an aberration. Okay, he was less than 1,000 yards receiving. Inconsistent quarterbacking play, but I think he bounces back big in 2018 and beyond. 2-yard explosive, being able to go down the middle and making big plays.
Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. A look now at the defensive starters for Philadelphia. They were terrific a week ago in that victory over Tampa Bay, Charles.
No matter what coverage was called, they were in the hip pockets of the receivers all game long. I mean, they were running the routes with them. Turned out, they were right there on every single ball thrown and came away with 5 interceptions.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7.
Let's go! Brand 38!
To throw is Brissett. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. A gain of 19 and picking up the first.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
And he's brought down. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 36. Brissett sets to throw it toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. Ryan Grant, the intended target. That'll bring up second down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the shotgun, it's Brissett. Over the middle, complete. It's Doyle. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on third down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. We're set now on second down. His pass caught at the 4. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down. Well, he did everything but get him in the end zone there, but now they're set up. Golden opportunity, strong opening drive, and they're knocking on the door.
And the way that they did it, now look where they are on the field. All right, this is naturally set up for a running play, isn't it? But with his ability to throw the football, his accuracy on this drive, you might want to think about a pass play in this situation.
Interesting. Time to find out. They'll run it with Mack. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. A look at the numbers for Mack from last week. 18 carries, 62 yards.
I was so glad you asked for a couple of offensive linemen to talk to before the game, because they told us that in last week's contest, everything was clicking. Didn't matter whether they were doing gap scheme, zone scheme, power, whatever it was working. And they expect more of the same in this game, although they're prepared for some adjustments by the defense they expect to see.
And he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. Ryan Grant, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Colts take it right down and score on the opening drive. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical, and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the 4th quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their 3rd-year quarterback calling the shots under center. It'll be Carson Wentz.
In his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
Here we go. 20.
They go play action here on 1st down. Space to maneuver at the 40. And a reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. And all the way up to the 46. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Defense gives up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start.
Get over there. Go. Here we go. What's this up, lady?
Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe. Quick Quickly now, a look at the Eagles' offensive starters.
An electric force out of the backfield is Jay Ajayi, who made the most out of his midseason exit from Miami and acquisition by the Philadelphia Eagles. The leading rusher in the playoffs for the Eagles helped power them to a Super Bowl with his ability to see holes where people don't think they exist and turn them into long runs.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. From midfield, here's Wentz. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. The starters now on the defensive side of the ball for Indianapolis. They've been pretty good against the pass. Not amazing, but good. Number 13 in the league.
And since this is such a good unit of covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now Wentz on 3rd down. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up the score, that takes the crowd.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Mike Bennett able to drop him for a loss of a couple. Partner, we had their game last week where they had 6 sacks, so a little bit more momentum here again in the first quarter.
And last week it appeared that they were coming out of sprinters blocks, chasing the quarterback. So how do they continue that? How do they keep making it happen? Different looks, different disguises, different angles that they chase him.
They were so disruptive last week. We'll see what the trend is here as we go forward. Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12.
Here we go. Brand 38. Brand 38.
A 2nd down throw for Brissett. It's complete here to T.Y. Hilton. And he is out of bounds, able to get it across the 20-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1.
Here we go.
From the gun, here's Brissett. And he's got his man Hilton. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another 1st down.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the 1st down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw when they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations. Ball hardly hit the ground, and I thought, yeah, he might be locked in for this one.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Malcolm Jenkins up to make the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Throwing, Brissett. The pass complete to Ryan Grant. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. He had the touchdown catch on the last drive. Now he's got a 1st down. Brissett now already over 100 yards passing in just this first quarter. It's 1st and 10.
Here we go. What?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
To throw, Brissett. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. Caught left side by Hilton. Touchdown, Indianapolis. T.Y. Hilton, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Colts are able to grow their lead.
When we draw up defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
Vinatieri now for the point after. Vinatieri connecting on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Vinatieri out there to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll begin the drive with Ajayi. And he'll get this one up to the 26. There are the numbers last week for Jay Ajayi. Very, very strong. Well over 100 yards.
He should get the ball early and often here, too. I mean, when you're riding the performance of last week into this game, his confidence level has to be off the charts. Go ahead and keep feeding him. They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
They give them 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. This is Ajayi. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
And while there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
Back. 120.
Now they'll throw it. Wentz. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. A great play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Colts add on to their lead.
Well, Brandon, if we go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator, he showed us his script. Didn't show us everything now. He said, here's the script for the game. I think everything's going according to plan in a big way. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's about as good. That is as good as you can do, I guess. So, well done.
Yeah, well done indeed. Tremendous execution.
Vinatieri now to tack on the PAT. Vinatieri able to tack on the PAT. And that makes the score 21-0. Vinatieri out there to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Carson Wentz and the Eagles make their way out to the field. And he'll look to rebound from the early interception that led to 6 points the other way.
And when he threw the interception and he had to come to the sideline, I guarantee his first thought wasn't about the interception itself, but what could result. And I know he was thinking to himself, come on, defense, bail me out. Well, they weren't able to in this situation. Now he's got to go out and atone for it himself, but he can't force things.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And before they can get settled in here, time expires on the first quarter of action. They've got a 2nd and 9 to start things out. From the gun, it's Wentz. Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. An Eagle first down. Wentz hooking up with Jeffrey.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
They run with Ajayi. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
On 2nd down, Smallwood. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 43. On first down, Wentz. That's into the hands of Wallace over the middle. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Here we go, back man. 20.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. He finds Aguilar over the middle. And he gets it down to the 32. They'll get just a couple, but the sticks move again.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Wentz now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. Now it's Ajayi. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. Ertz has it left side. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
It's a gain of just a couple there, but it's enough to get him the first.
I always appreciate runners who understand situations. That was just 3rd and inches. No reason to dance around in the backfield and try and break off a bigger play. Just go pick up the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
The Eagles into the red zone for the first time. 1st and 10 right at the 20. Now a play fake here on first down. They'll roll him out right. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Here's a Johnny. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Danico Autry is in on the stop.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And on 3rd down, the Colts have added an extra defensive back.
Flooding the passing lanes.
There we go. Back man. 46 down, man. 5-4.
Working from the gun, Wentz. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Jabal Sheard. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
A first scoring update now from Carolina. And the Bengals out to the early advantage. Andy Dalton with 2 first-half touchdown passes. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's over 40 yards here in the 2nd quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. Really solid coverage from the current NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Also had an interception in that game a week ago.
And it was fun to watch him in practice this week, wasn't it? To see how he understands spacing, and when the ball's arriving, which hand to put out in front to try and knock it away. And he just exhibited it on that play.
And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position, because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Brissett. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Here's Brissett. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. So negative yardage, a loss of 3 on 2nd down, and that leads to a tough 3rd down call. It's 3rd and long for Brissett. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Doyle. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. Just 21 yards on the punt there. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Jay Ajayi works his way back onto the field. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays.
And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. Al Woods forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards. Two minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Wentz now to throw. Going long here for Wallace. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Defense.
So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you.
And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Jabal Sheard in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. Past the 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. Vinatieri connecting on the extra point, and a rout is on here in this first half. This one taken just inside the 10. Oh, now he bowls him over. Oh, then the spin. And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42-yard line. Great return.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
The Eagles in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10. Now Wentz to try again after the pick 6. They set up the screen to Ajayi. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They hold him to only 2 there on the screen. It's 2nd down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed. But all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
Caught right side is Jeffrey. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Ertz over the middle, and he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. From the red zone now, Wentz. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Wentz again here on 2nd and 10. Eluding the pressure right. And that's complete to Jeffrey. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this third down play takes place, as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. The Eagles on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Now Wentz again. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And the kick by Elliott is good. And they're back within 3 scores as it's now a 22-point game. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And they'll be set up with good field position here as he gets this up over the 40-yard line. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10.
Come on, let's go. White 90. Hut, white 90.
Now the 4th-year man from Texas A&M, Christian Michael. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Wentz going to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Wallace. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A good pickup there at 22. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
The Eagles on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time it's 3rd and 3. Shotgun now for Wentz. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this third quarter as he'll go for it on fourth down. They'll go for it. It's Wentz. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw, so maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
And a short gain down to about the 33. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
No, he almost had it. Already with one interception, just missing his second there.
He's got to be kicking himself right there. His team's already picked off 2 passes. That would have been the 3rd in the game. And, boy, they've really played well attacking the football.
Now Wentz on third down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to fourth down. Wentz to throw for it on fourth. Buying time to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll make it second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
Forced out to his left. He may try and run for this. 5 yards that time out of the scramble, but now they're looking at a fourth down situation.
I liked his effort there. He got it done on his own, but let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the first down. So his third field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s and probably even 8s. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear if they want to close this gap.
And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. A first down throw for Brissett. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A 14-yard gain for Indianapolis and also move the sticks.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap.
It's caught inside the 25. And he is taken down deep in Philadelphia territory. A big play there for Indy. And even 50 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
On 1st and 10, Brissett. And he's going to find Doyle in the end zone for a Colts score. Jack Doyle, his second touchdown on the season. And the Colts are able to grow their lead. And this one through the uprights and good. Vinatieri out there to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Completes it to Aguilar. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Here we go on fourth down with Wentz. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Colts are going to get the football in outstanding field position.
Ohio! Let's go! 38!
They'll run it now out of the gun. Shifts by him at the 25. And he's going to take this one down to the 25. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Throwing, Brissett, and his throw's going to be incomplete. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver, and it's third and short. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
And Vinatieri's kick is good. And that will push the lead up from 26, and it grows up to 29. So good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point or in this case, a field goal.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Throwing now is Wentz. Escaping the pressure. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. How do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the third quarter. He's got to like it, right?
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on fire in terms of stats. It's almost like you're driving. Hands at 10 and 2, alert for anything out there, watching for trouble on the road, and making sure you get the team home.
The bus driver. See if he can drive the bus here again on this drive.
Let's go! Brad 38!
On the bootleg, it's Brissett. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Good yardage there for the Colts. 18 and a first down. Brissett now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Come on, let's go!
First down, Brissett. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. So a nice job to break the one tackle.